Hi everyone, greetings, and welcome to my back cabin. And here's Bear. This is Daphne here from Tarot on the Deck, and today Mars goes into Cancer, the sign of home, family. Cancer is the crab, and you know it's that soft inner growing body that takes the nutrients from the ocean of everything and forms that hard shell, okay, that is used in the outer world. So you have inner world and outer world with Cancer. And crabs like to be on that edge between those two worlds. They need a fair amount of fantasy and everything is everythingness, spirituality, imagination, creativity, psychic abilities, as well as practical things that function in the material world. Okay, so when Mars goes into Cancer, it's bringing energy, because Mars is energy, to all the things that are of the nature of Cancer, which purely means growth. It's been purloined in our modern world. So Mars activates all of those things, such as home. Here I am, I'm spring cleaning in my back cabin, and gradually the grime of winter is giving way to the sparkle of spring. It takes a while. It's an ongoing process, but it has to be done. Mars going there energizes matters of the home, matters of the family, matters of ancestors, past lives, imagination, psychic abilities. Okay, and Mars is often given a bad rap, I have to say, in astrology, but actually Mars is a planet, is the hero. He's the courageous hero that fights our corner, fights our cause, okay? In his youth and without experience, he can just be very cutting and leap in where fools would fear to tread, in his hurry and his rush to get somewhere. But mostly he brings us courage. So this is a period of courage required regarding our homes, our families, our ancestors. And it's important to note this, particularly in 2023, because being a water sign, Cancer speaks very well to Pisces, the other water sign, where, if you like, Mars's archenemy, Saturn, dad, responsibility, the teacher, occupies a little place in Pisces at the moment. So we have two important planets, they're all important, in water signs at the moment, and we've got very used to Mars being in Gemini for the last 7 months. That's where Mars has been, and we've all been quite used now to the Twitter files. They're very Gemini, all the communication activity that's going on. So now it's different. Now Mars is kind of slowed down by that feeling of Cancer, by the need to relate to your inner self, not just the twittering world. So it's important that we learn to adjust. So I did a little tarot spread this morning, a generic one for all of us. And so if you're interested, I kind of tell you the story of it. Okay, so first of all, I drew a card for us all to check in with which part of our vulnerable shell Mars would be activating. That means prodding, triggering, or just purely trying to get some action from us, so that we develop courage in that area. And if you've been following the readings that I've been doing for the group, you will not be surprised to know that the card representing which point is going to be most triggered, activated and encouraged by Mars is actually our past failures. That's always a sensitive point, isn't it? So, if you've had a series of failures, not being successful, whatever, and that's felt kind of important to you, and it's something that you'd rather shed and leave behind, here is your moment to work towards that, because Mars will give you the courage to see new awareness. Mars always brings in, with all this fearsome bluster and force, he makes us aware of things. And so, yeah, I think we become aware of our past failures and therefore more sensitive, Cancer, to them, and that can make us want to cut loose from them. In cutting loose, we need to be sure that we've done and finished, that they're nicely finished, that they're not just cut off their heads and there grow 6 more, sort of finished. So let's look carefully at all our failures of the past. This can include the failures going back through our ancestry. So it's quite important that we take, sorry about that. All right, Bear, all right. It's quite important that we take care of the generational failures, guilt and shame that accompany failures, as well as our own. So look to the generational, the ancestral, and even the past life. Sorry, this is going to be a dog barking competition now. Bear, come here, darling. Good boy. Come here. Good boy. That's very good. He's only a baby. He's not a year. You're not quite a year yet. So yes, so have a look at all those failures. Well, I think Mars will be prompting you to take a look. So take a look at those things. And then the next card I chose, because with tarot we have a great advantage over counsellors and psychoanalysts. We can ask higher realms to help us out. And so the next question I asked, the wisdom that is how to firstly best intuit what we need to do regarding our past failures, etc. And also how steps to put into action, the remedies for that. And amazingly, I actually came up with an energy that would be very favourable to the Cancer vibe, because it was the 4 of Swords in tarot, which is all about sanctuary. It's about resting, about making time for our soul. And Cancer very often, because it's the Queen of Cups in tarot, you know, she'll sit for a long time on that shoreline, just letting the ocean wash over the rocks around her and smoothing them. That's what water does. It smooths all the rough edges. And the 4 of Swords being in that position in this reading, I felt was about taking time out to ourselves to allow the ocean of everything to wash over what we regarded as a failure or a lack of success in some way. And its attendant guilt and shame. They are the real enemies here, if you like. And Mars is good at dealing with enemies. So you have, you know, Mars is sharp and on the ball. Yeah, very precise and direct is Mars. So definitely, while Mars is in Cancer, make sure you take enough rest time to yourself so that you can be refreshed and replenished at a soul level, and acknowledge the part of you that is wild, that wants to go out and seek adventures. Yeah? And that, indeed, if you do that, you're always going to encounter the odd trip and failure. Yeah, it's just the pattern of life. And, you know, at the end of the day, Mars will tell us very clearly, it's not about the winning and losing, it's the taking part. And I know it's a cliche, but they're you know, Mars is very, that's what it's about. It's fun to be active, to be involved. That's the Mars perspective. So, so that's sort of two things that join together and hopefully help us during this Mars transit through Cancer. And then, I don't think I'm recording. Oh yes, I am. I'm so absorbed in my cleaning here that I'm not really taking much notice. This is a hurricane lamp that lives in my back cabin, and they are renowned dust collectors. So I have to come and clean it thoroughly, or else it just gets to be a dimmer and dimmer light, gradually. So yes, so then the next card placement was in answer to the question, how best to nurture, encourage our inner self, that soul if you like. And that was the Sun card. So hey, this is about bringing out your what's inside so that it can shine and celebrate life. Yeah, which so the Sun and Mars have a lot in common. They really do. They're both about shining, they're both about courage. Mars is the blood, the Sun is the heart. They work together. Yeah, so give yourself, when you're doing your resting, time for your own personal creativity, your inner child that is always creative and playful, and allow that to come out and blossom and shine. I'm sure I'm not explaining this very well because I'm still in quite brain fog from COVID, which I had quite some time ago, but it seems to be affecting me. So I set off with good intentions, Mars, and then I kind of lose my way a little bit through the brain fog, so I have to retrace my steps a bit and make sure I'm being on point, because Mars wouldn't like anything that wasn't on point. So to recap, look at your history of past failures. Don't get trapped by them. Don't get caught by them. You have Mars to help you. He's a heroic god if ever there was one. Okay, his energy, and I'm sure you can feel there's so much energy around this year because there's lots going on in Aries right now. So hopefully you'll be feeling energized and able to forget how this goes back together. And able to combat any guilt and shame within yourself, within your ancestral line, to the point that you feel brave and able to shine. The overall guidance from higher wisdom, from the Hermit energy within, is actually the Wheel of Fortune. So although this may look like a bit of a, it's not very good having to check out where we've failed and all the rest of it, but it's an opportunity because we've got the Wheel of Fortune there. And the Wheel of Fortune gives us the particular opportunity of writing our own destiny. And this is definitely one of those moments. Jupiter, Wheel of Fortune, is strong in Cancer. It's really worth taking hold. You know, Cancer is the Chariot in tarot, and holding those two forces, the losing, the winning, whatever they are, holding them so they don't divert and pull you apart. There's always that tension on those two diverse opposites, with Cancer, with the Chariot. And as they pull us along, it's not so much about going along, it's about going up and growing. Okay, because that tension's always going to be there. That we live in a world of opposites. There's always that one and there's always that one. If you've got success, you've always got failure. That middle path is what we're looking for, and we find that the more we grow spiritually. So Cancer is about the greatest light. It's, it brings the great light into being. And so we've got the Sun card there in our spread, confirming that that's where we need to go. We need to shine. Okay, I'm all right when I can switch on and channel, but otherwise not so good. Anyway, hope you find some of this useful. I'll probably edit it if I can. Take care. That's a Cancerian saying. Take care. But activate how you care for yourself. Okay, lots of love to all, and I'll have a sparkly back cabin before long.